Om Shanti. Om Shanti. अच्छा आज तब तक अटेंशन यहाँ रखो, मिनट मिनट सेकंड सेकंड अपने ऊपर अटेंशन रखना पैदे वाला है। 3 शब्द ज्ञान का विस्तार तो बहुत है, इतना है इतना है इतना है जितना अमाप है, अनगिनत है।
Gyan, the expansion of Gyans is so much. It's uncountable and it's unlimited. And nobody can sing the praise or count the value of these imperishable jewels of knowledge. But what is Gyan in its essence? In its essence, it's the one that helps us to create our life as valuable as a diamond and makes us into those who have a part of a hero in the cycle. What is God's part? What is my part? Baba says, don't think about the parts of others. This is what knowledge says. Let go of thinking about others. If you become a detached observer and have a look, there are very few that have let go of this habit of thinking about others. There are very few that consider themselves to be a soul and continue to keep Baba in front. And whilst Baba gives, and whilst the child continues to look at the father continues to look at the father merges the child in his eyes. Let no one else's vision fall on me, because if their vision falls on me, it influences me and pulls me towards them. Let me only remain in Baba's vision. What does Baba's vision do? Baba's vision takes the child beyond. Baba's vision makes the child happy. First it takes the child beyond and then it makes the child happy, full of happiness. In Baba's vision, there is a lot of mercy and there is a lot of blessings. And this is why Baba continues to teach us with a lot of love. From his heart, he sustains us. He's created the yajna and is looking after us. And he's also maintaining the concern for us that our final moments should be the best. So we have such a Baba who through his mercy has saved us and has given us blessings that have enabled us to move forward. It's on the basis of blessings that we've moved forward. We've received power from those blessings. Now he says, take blessings from everyone. Receive blessings. I have given you the blessings and mercy. You now have to learn to receive those from others. Now, let blessings emerge from the hearts of everyone around you. Then I'll say, yes, my child, you are worthy. Baba's blessings have worked on you,
जो वरदानी बन गए,
that you have become full of blessings.
बाबा के वरदान से वरदानी बन गए.
Through Baba's blessings, we have become full of blessings, and not only just full, but the one that bestows blessings.
अपनी सब इच्छा ममता को खत्म किया.
By receiving blessings, we have done what Baba wanted us to do, and we've finished all desires and attachments. This is the power of Baba's blessing. Baba gave the first blessing, child, whatever thought you create, it will be fulfilled. Whatever thoughts you create for yourself or for service, whatever thoughts you create for any kind of effort for the self or service, acts as a blessing. Baba's talk. Baba gives us mercy and blessings, and there is the deep feeling from this that everything will happen, it is fixed. Baba says, don't give me thanks. You are the children from the kalpa ago, a cycle ago. You've come here to claim your right. You've come here to claim your right to become worthy and equal. Baba doesn't just give a right to anyone like that, but you're becoming, but through your efforts, you're becoming worthy to claim a right over Baba. Who does Baba like? Baba likes the one who makes effort with an honest heart. We can all see how much effort Baba makes for us, but when the child makes that same kind of effort for himself, Baba loves such a child. And so in today's Murli, it's about making effort on yourself. Don't think about anyone. Even if you have the slightest thought about anyone, actually the reality is, by you thinking about anyone, it doesn't make a difference. You don't need to think about anyone. They will do what they have to do anyway.
किसके माँ बाप या कोई अपने दीदी दादी या दादा ने कोई ख्याल किया होगा, पर वो ख्याल अनुसार चले.
So we're all sitting here. We may have a mother, father, grandmother thinking about us, but do you think we will move along according to their thoughts? So in the same way, why bother having thoughts about anyone else? They will do what they have to do. We simply have to constantly maintain good thoughts, pure thoughts, and an attitude of good wishes. Don't worry, don't think too much, but remain one that is full of good wishes. It doesn't matter if somebody receives those good wishes or not, but to remain one that is full of good wishes for others. I should never let go of this. Let me not let go of being like this. If I don't remain one who has good wishes for others, then how will my thoughts become pure? And if my thoughts don't become pure, then what will my condition be? So for yourself, pure thoughts and good wishes. This is what it means to become part of the rosary. The rosary is remembered, and God also says, let you be remembered in the rosary of victory. Baba doesn't say, oh, let me be remembered in this rosary, but Baba puts the children in the front. They pick up the rosary and they chant the name of God, chant the name of Rama. There are 108 beads of the rosary. Do you think any one of those beads have a name? No, they don't have a name. The ones who have finished all trace of being trapped in name and form, they are the ones that will enter the rosary of victory. Like, for example, Dadi. Dadi doesn't remember anyone's name. I asked Dadi this the other day. even Baba, very, very rarely that Baba would have anybody's names on his lips. Let me not remember anyone's name or form. Let me be detached from my own name and form. When I become free from being trapped in name and form, then I become free from the ego, of body consciousness, from feeling insulted in any way. Baba has already told us we have to tolerate defamation and praise. But I have to learn to be beyond that. Out there they hold a rosary in their hand and they remember each bead. They hold each bead, they turn each bead in the remembrance of God. They may not speak out God's name, but in their mind they will chant the name of Ram, Ram. And then when they finish turning the beads, they will... The whole rosary finishes with the double bead, and they remember the one who created the rosary, the Mother and the Father. Have you ever seen such a rosary? Do you know what it looks like? You should have a look at it. There are two dual beads at the top of the rosary. The Mother and the Father that created the whole rosary. They call those two beads the Mother and the Father, Mata Pita. So, let me remain beyond name and form, even my own. Think about it. Think about your future form. Think about your beautiful drishti. Baba reminds us, don't move your mouth, even if somebody else, don't use your mouth in the wrong way, even if somebody says something that you don't like to hear. It takes two hands to clap. If you clap, if they clap and you clap, it creates conflict. If they speak and I speak back in return, it's like two hands are clapping. But if I remained quiet, then what can one hand on its own do? This is what it means to remain quiet, with this understanding. It's not about remaining quiet by suppressing yourself. If I speak in the same way they speak to me, then my face will also change and become like them. It's your face reflects whatever you say. When we say Baba through our mouth, then what kind of a face do we have? If we speak about any other matters, our face changes, but when we speak about Baba and Baba's knowledge, imagine what the face looks like. And such a soul who speaks with a face like that, and who is able to remain in a stage like that of being absorbed in Baba, then when such a soul speaks, the arrow of his words will pierce the hearts of others. The one who speaks unnecessary and waste, yes, they may be clever at speaking knowledge, but to sit down with bhavna, with love, and to deeply explain to souls the art of becoming soul conscious, so such a soul won't have this ability. This is what we have to do, sit down with love, have that love to explain to souls about themselves and about God. When we maintain this bhavna, it will attract souls to us. Now, if we haven't done this kind of work, then what is Baba going to tell us? Brahmins have received 3 tasks. One is the marriage ceremony, the task of marrying souls to the Supreme. Second, it's that of relating knowledge, katha. And third, it's to be a guide and to show others the way. Lokik Brahmins, they just come to people's houses to eat. They don't do any katha, in a sense. They don't relate knowledge to others. Here, our job is not just to eat, but we have to feed others. And we are also guides that show the way to others. Here, Baba explains to us the story of the cycle of 84 births and says to the child, come, come, come on the way, see the journey, see where you have to go. And the Brahmins who are guides are very good Brahmins. And then Brahmins, the other task of Brahmins is to perform the marriage ceremony of souls to the Supreme Soul. Brahmins will show the Supreme Soul, this soul is good, this soul is good. And they will perform the marriage ceremony. What do you think? It's not just the youth that have to do this work, but each one of us have to do this work. The Brahmins who perform the katha, who relate knowledge, they do it very accurately according to the right method. They may relate the story of the true Narayan, whatever stories, but they will relate it accurately. There is a difference between a Brahmin and a Pandit. A Pandit just reads the scriptures, won't imbibe anything, but will just continue to relate it parrot fashion. But a Brahmin will have the intoxication of who he is and will relate from his own experience. So in every aspect now, we have to check ourselves and change ourselves. Let us keep checking. Let us keep checking in such a way that we don't just remain checking, but a change happens automatically, so that others too are able to see that we have changed, and they make the comment, "Oh, this one has changed." The ones who change, when others see such a one, they receive inspiration to change as well. Baba asks, how will the last so fast move forward? Because such ones who are going to become first last so fast, they continue to change internally. And the family has a lot of love for such a soul. Lokik and Alokik say about this one, that this one has changed. They may have come late, but it's a wonder of their transformation. So continue to change yourself internally, then Baba will be happy and the family will also be happy. So today, Baba's emphasized maintaining thoughts about your self-effort and your self-progress. Just continue to think about your self-progress.
Charity begins at home.
The essence, sweet children, charity begins at home. You want to start the work of charity, you've got to do it on yourself. This means you first of all have to make the effort to become soul-conscious and then tell others. When you give knowledge to others whilst considering yourself to be a soul, the sword of knowledge will be filled with power. There was a program once. I'd held a program somewhere once. The different ways in which Gyan is used. Gyan is a sword. How, in what different ways Gyan is a jewels, in what ways knowledge works. And so when you give knowledge to others whilst considering yourself to be a soul, the sword of knowledge will be filled with power. Question: by making effort in which two aspects at the confluence age will you become the masters of the golden aged throne? Answer: 1. Make the effort to maintain a stage of equanimity in happiness and sorrow, and in praise and defamation. If someone says wrong things or becomes angry, just remain quiet. Don't answer back. 2.
अपने आँखों को सिविल बनाओ,
make your eyes civil,
जो क्रिमिनल आए बिल्कुल समाप्त हो जाए,
so that criminal eyes should completely finish.
ये 10 दिन है ना, आज 21 तारीख है, 31 बाबा
Today is the 21st. Baba will come on the 31st. We've got 10 days left.
ऐसा अपने आप को अच्छा बना लो, बस चुंबक
To make yourself so good, make yourself into a magnet so that others are pulled towards Baba. So criminal eyes should completely finish. We souls are brothers. Give knowledge to others whilst considering them to be souls. Make the effort to become soul conscious and you will become the masters of the golden aged throne. Only those who become completely pure will be seated on the throne. Did you hear about purity yesterday?
Om Shanti. रूहानी बाप रूहानी बच्चों से बात करते हैं.
Om Shanti, the spiritual father speaks to the spiritual children. You souls have received the third eye,
जिसको ज्ञान का नेत्र भी
which can
कहा
also
जाता
be
है.
called
तीसरा नेत्र
the
माना
eye of
ज्ञान का
knowledge.
नेत्र कहा जाता है. उनसे तुम देखते हो
You
अपने
see your
भाइयों को.
brothers with this eye.
तो ये बुद्धि से समझते हो
You
ना.
understand with your intellect
जब हम भाई भाई को देखेंगे,
that when you see
ये
others as
दृष्टि से
brothers,
देखेंगे, तो कर्म इंद्रियां चंचल नहीं
your
होंगी.
sense organs won't create mischief.
ये जो practice है ना, भाई भाई की
This
दृष्टि से
practice
देखेंगे,
of seeing others as brothers, then your sense organs won't create mischief. They'll become very cool and peaceful.
ऐसे करते करते आंखें जो क्रिमिनल है
As
वो
you
सिविल
can-
हो जाएंगी.
When you continue to do this, the eyes that have become criminal will become civil. The Father says, you do have to make some effort to become the masters of the world. Therefore, now make this effort. In order for you to make effort, Baba gives you new and deep points every day.
अभी अपने को भाई भाई समझकर ज्ञान देने की आदत डालो.
So now instill the habit of giving knowledge to others whilst considering them to be brothers. Don't just give gyan like that, but first consider them to be brothers and then instill the habit of giving gyan.
प्रैक्टिकल हो जाएगा.
Then there is the saying, we are all brothers. This will become practical. You are now true brothers.
बाप को जानते हो.
Why? Because you now know your father.
बाप तुम बच्चों के साथ, दूसरी बात सुन लो, बाप तुम बच्चों के साथ सर्विस कर रहा है.
The father is doing service along with you children. Such a wonder.
किसको भान आता है बाबा मेरे साथ सर्विस कर.
Who feels that here? Do you feel that Baba is doing service along with you? Do you feel he's your service companion?
तो ये सहज हुआ ना.
Therefore, this is easy, isn't it? You have to practice this every day.
उसमें सुस्ती नहीं होनी चाहिए.
Don't be lazy.
आज अमृत वेले कौन नहीं आए थे, हाथ उठाओ.
Who didn't come to Amrit Vela today? Raise your hand.
जो अमृत वेले नहीं आए थे, हाथ
Who
उठाओ.
did not come to Amrit Vela today? Raise your hand.
सच्चा हाथ उठाओ.
Be honest and raise your hand.
देखो एब्सेंट मार्क पड़ेंगे, काम कैसे होगा.
Now, if there's an absent mark in the register, how will our work continue?
बाबा तुम बच्चों से सर्विस कर रहे हैं, कैसे? हिम्मत है बच्चे, मदद है बाप. किसके साथ सर्विस करता है?
Who does Baba
तो बाप
help?
करके ये
When
हिम्मत
you
देते
children
हैं
maintain courage, the Father helps.
सर्विस करने की.
So the Father comes and gives you courage to do service. Therefore, this is easy,
ये
isn't
रोज
it?
प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी.
You have to practice this every day.
हिम्मत है बच्चे, मदद है बाप का जिसको अनुभव है ना, वो तो बिल्कुल.
The children who maintain courage and receive the Father's help, when the souls that have this experience, they can't remain without doing service and inspiring others to do service. So don't be lazy. You children receive these new points. You children know that Baba is teaching you, brothers. It's only at this time that souls are studying this spiritual knowledge. It's called spiritual knowledge. Only at this time do you receive spiritual knowledge from the spiritual Father, because he only comes at the confluence age. Why? Because the world has to change. Only when the world has to change do you receive this spiritual knowledge. The Father comes and gives you the spiritual knowledge. Consider yourself to be a soul. Your souls came bodiless, and you then adopted a body here. You souls came bodiless and you then adopted a body here. You have taken 84 births from the beginning. Just as you come down number-wise in the same way, you make effort in knowledge and yoga. Then it is seen that whatever effort each of you have made in the previous cycle is being made in the same way now. You have to make effort for yourself. You're not going to make effort for anyone else. You have to make effort on yourself by considering yourself to be a soul. What does it matter to you what others are doing? When you give time to thinking about others, you let go of your effort. What does it matter anyway to you what others are doing? Charity begins at home means that you yourself have to make effort first and then ask others, your brothers, to do the same. When you first consider yourself to be a soul and give knowledge to others, your sword of knowledge will then be filled with power. This does require some effort. Therefore, so what is the effort? This does require some effort. Therefore, you definitely have to tolerate something or other. So it's at this time that happiness and sorrow, respect and disrespect, praise and defamation, they all have to be tolerated a little. Whenever anyone says wrong things, just remain quiet. I've seen this scene where Baba's told a child, just be quiet. If I was to relate such stories to you, we'd say to Baba, but this one's saying this, and Baba would put his finger to his lips and say, no, child, remain quiet. When one person becomes quiet, the other one can't become angry. When one person says something and the other person responds, likewise, that is like clapping with the mouth. If one person says something but the other one remains quiet, then everything quietens down. This is what the Father teaches. Whenever you see someone becoming angry, just remain quiet, and that person's anger will automatically cool down. There won't be any clapping a response then. When there is some response, there will be conflict. And this is why the Father says, children, never respond likewise over such matters, either in the vices of lust or anger. You children have to benefit everyone. Why have so many centers been created? Such centers would also have been established in the previous cycles. When there were not even 8 centers, Baba said there should be 108 centers created. Before Baba became Avyakt, there were only 8 centers open. And after Baba became Avyakt, That was the message Baba gave, that 108 centers should be opened, and now there are thousands. The Father, the deity of all deities, continues to see that many children are interested in opening a center. They say, Baba, I will open a center and will pay all the expenses. Day by day, it will continue to happen like that. Because as the time for destruction comes close, interest and service will increase on your part. Bab and Dada are now together. Therefore, they are looking at each of you to see what effort you're making and what status you will receive. The efforts of some are the highest level, those of others are mediocre, and those of some are the lowest. Check yourself. What kind of effort are you making? Is it the highest, is it mediocre, or is it at the lowest level? This can be seen in a school too. In a school too, a teacher sees. A teacher can see in which subjects the student fluctuates. It is the same here. Some children pay attention very well, and so they consider themselves to be the highest. Sometimes they make a mistake. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes they make a mistake. They make a mistake and don't stay in remembrance. Therefore, they consider themselves to be very low. This is a school, isn't it? Children say, Baba, sometimes I'm very happy, but at other times my happiness decreases. Does it happen like this? Are there many out there that say this to Baba? That sometimes I'm very happy, but at other times my happiness decreases. Baba's talking about your heart, things of your heart, isn't he? Isn't it like this? So Baba is now explaining. It's wonderful how Baba gives the answers in the Murli. So Baba continues to explain, if you want to be happy, become Man Mana Bhav. Consider yourself to be a soul and remember the Father. Just as you look at the Supreme Soul in front of you, and you see that He is sitting on the immortal throne, in the same way, look at your brothers whilst considering yourself to be a soul, and then talk to them. I am giving knowledge to my brother, not to a sister, but to a brother. You are giving knowledge to souls. When you instill this habit, your criminal eye, which has been deceiving you, will gradually stop. What would a soul do to a soul? What is a soul going to do to a soul? It is when there is body consciousness that you fall. Many say, Baba, my eyes are criminal. Acha, in that case now make your criminal eyes civil. The Father has given you souls, the third eye. When you look through your third eye, your habit of looking at the body will finish. When we look through our third eye, the habit of looking at the body will finish. Baba continues to give directions to the children. He also says the same thing to this one, Brahma. This Baba also has to look at the soul in the body. This Baba also has to look at the soul in the body. Therefore, this is called spiritual knowledge. Baba's method of looking is so loving. His drishti is such, filled with love. And I always say that it's because I remain in his company that I've developed the habit of looking at the soul. This one Brahma says this. Who says children? Who says child? Yes, Brahma has his children. Who's sitting on the immortal throne? As Baba relates knowledge, when you go into the depth of the knowledge, then you experience Gyan to be tasty, not just filled with power and strength, but quite tasty as well. Do you experience the taste? Maybe you don't even know what it tastes like. Can you taste knowledge?
इसको कहा जाता है रूहान नाल देखो पद कितना ऊंच पाते हो जबरदस्त पद है पुरुषादी ऐसे करना चाहिए.
Look at how elevated the status you receive. It is a very powerful status. Therefore you have to make effort accordingly. Baba also understands that everyone's efforts will be the same as they were in the previous cycle. Some will become kings and queens, and some will become part of the subjects. Baba's, on the one hand, there's Baba's strength, the power that we should become something. On the other hand, when he sees we're not, he calms down and just becomes the observer. So Baba also understands that everyone's efforts will be the same as they were in the previous cycle. When you especially conduct meditation for everyone and consider yourself to be a soul whilst looking at other souls in the center of the forehead, the service you do will be very good. Those who sit here in soul consciousness only look at souls. Practice this a great deal. If you want to claim a high status, you have to make some effort. This is the only effort you souls have to make. You only receive this spiritual knowledge once. You cannot receive it at any other time. Think about this. Let this hit your intellect. You're not going to receive this knowledge at any other time. Not in Satyug, not in Kalyug. Only at the confluence age. And in that too, only Brahmins receive it. Remember this very firmly. Only when you first become Brahmins can you then become deities. How could you become deities if you haven't become Brahmins? It is only at this confluence age that you make this effort. At no other time will it be said, consider yourself to be a soul and also consider others to be souls when giving them knowledge. At no other time can this be said. Churn everything that the Father explains to you. I may have said some things to you 10 times, 100 times. Baba has only ever said things to me once. I was one time in Amritsar. I went in the morning when Baba had visited. He used to be with me in Pune, in Bombay, and then in Amritsar he was with me. So one morning I went in front of him and Baba said to me, child, do you churn the ocean of knowledge? Yes, I used to read the Murli, but Baba drew my attention to this. I never sat down and actually churned the knowledge deeply. From that day onwards, I've taken this direction to heart. I'd gone to Baba and stood at the foot of his bed, and Baba just looked at me and given me drishti and said, child, you don't churn the ocean of knowledge? If I wasn't churning, then I'd be like an old woman with a stick in front of you. I wouldn't be able to stay seated upright in front of you. I'd be of no use to anyone. When you churn, then you develop value for yourself. You become useful to others. You churn butter, you create butter, you feed others that butter. It's nourishing. Yes, we like to eat butter, but do I have the practice of churning butter, of creating butter, and then feeding others that butter? I'm continuing to observe who is listening to these things carefully. So churn. Baba explains, churn everything that the Father explains. Judge for yourself whether it is right or not, whether it is beneficial for you. You will then instill in yourself the habit of giving your brothers the teachings that the Father has given you. These have to be given to females as well as males. After all, they have to be given to souls. It is a soul that has become a male or a female, a brother or a sister. I have. There should be so much strength that we go beyond the consciousness of male and female. It is a soul that has become a male or a female, a brother or a sister. The Father says, I give you souls knowledge. I look at you children and see souls. And you souls also understand that the Supreme Soul, who is our Father, is giving us knowledge. Baba is seeing the souls, and the souls understand that it is the Supreme Soul that is giving us knowledge. This is called having spiritual consciousness. This is called the give and take of spiritual knowledge. This is called the give and take of spiritual knowledge of the Supreme Soul with souls. Are you thinking about what Baba is saying? This is the give and take of spiritual knowledge of the Supreme Soul with souls. And the Father teaches you that whenever a visitor comes, you have to consider yourself to be a soul and give the introduction of the Father to that soul. The soul, not the body, has knowledge. Therefore, give knowledge to that one whilst considering them to be a soul. When you do this, they will also enjoy it. There will be power in your words. Because you become soul conscious, your sword of knowledge will be filled with power. Therefore, practice this and see for yourself. Baba says, judge for yourself whether this too is right. Whatever Baba is explaining, is it right? This isn't anything new for you children, because the Father explains everything very easily. This is easy for the children to do, because Baba explains everything so easily. Children, you've been around the cycle and the play is now coming to an end. You have to stay in remembrance of Baba. You've been around the cycle and the play is now coming to an end. Okay? You are becoming Satopradhan from Tamopradhan to become the masters of the Satopradhan world. Then you'll come down the ladder again in the same way. Look how sweetly and easily Baba explains. He makes everything so easy. Look how he explains in such a simple way. I have to come every 5,000 years, he says. I am bound by the drama plan. I come and teach you children this very easy pilgrimage of remembrance. By having remembrance of the Father, your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. This refers to this time. This is a final period of time. It is at this time that the Father sits here and shows you the way. He says, constantly remember me alone, and you will receive salvation. Children understand what they are to become by studying. Here too, you understand that you will go and become deities in the new world. Just as when children go to school, they have the intoxication of what they're going to become. This isn't anything new. This is what Papa says again and again. The Father repeatedly says nothing new. Anything happens, nothing new. You have to go up and come down the ladder. No. There is the story of the genie. He was given the work of going up and down a ladder. He had asked, give me some work. Now what work are you going to give to a genie? He goes, look, I'll swallow you up if you don't give me any work. And what work was he given? That of going up and down a ladder. This play is about going up and coming down. Through the pilgrimage of remembrance, you will become strong, very strong. Therefore, the Father sits here and teaches you children different ways to become soul-conscious. Everyone now has to return home. You souls have become impure Tamopradhan whilst taking 84 births. It is the people of Bharat. Do you feel that you're receiving strength as you listen to the Murli? Do you feel like you're getting nourishing, tasty food? Do you feel this? Are you getting translation? Are you getting this feeling through the translation? Is your laziness disappearing?
पूरी 84 जन्म लेकर के तमो प्रधान क्यों बने हो? 84 जन्म लेकर के तमो प्रधान बन गए हो.
Why have you become Tamo Pradhan? You've become Tamo Pradhan whilst taking the full 84 births. It is the people of Bharat who go through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. None of the other nationalities can be said to have taken the full 84 births. The Father has come and told you that everyone has his own part in the play. Be peaceful and observe this. Every soul has their own part in the play. Souls are so tiny. Scientists can never understand. Scientists can never understand how an imperishable part is recorded within a tiny soul. Such a tiny soul has such a big part filled in it. This is the most wonderful aspect. A soul is so tiny, but just see the part he plays. And that too is imperishable. This drama too is imperishable and also predestined. It isn't that anyone should ask when it was created. No, this is nature. This knowledge is very wonderful. No one else can ever give this knowledge.
कोई की ताकत नहीं है जो ये ज्ञान बतावे.
No one else has the power to give this knowledge. Therefore, the Father explains to you children every day, now practice. I am giving this knowledge to my brother's soul in order to make him similar to myself. I am giving this knowledge to my brother's soul in order to make him similar to myself. He too has to claim his inheritance from the Father, because all souls have a right. Baba comes to give all souls their inheritance of When we are in our kingdom, all the other souls will be in the land of peace. Then there will be cries of victory. Then there will be cries of victory. When we are here, there will only be happiness. This is why the Father says, become pure. The greater your purity, the greater the attraction. You're pulled by the Father. The purer you become, the greater the attraction to Baba. When you become completely pure, you will be seated on the throne. So practice this. Don't think that you've heard it and you just let it out of the other ear. What a wonderful Murli. It's not that you listen through one ear and out it comes through the other. You cannot continue without practicing. Considering yourself to be a soul while sitting and explaining to the other person, your brother soul. The spiritual father explains to you spiritual children. This is called spiritual knowledge. The spiritual father is the one who gives this. When you children become completely spiritual and pure, when you children become completely spiritual and pure, you will become the masters of the golden aged throne. Those who don't become pure will not become part of the rosary. Not allowed. There must be some significance in the rosary. No one else knows the secret of the rosary. Why do people turn the beads of a rosary? Because you helped the Father a great deal. Because you helped the Father a great deal. So why wouldn't you be remembered? Baba said to us, in our efforts, when the child maintains courage, the Father helps. And when does the child come into the rosary? Because the child has helped the Father a great deal. So why wouldn't you be remembered? You are remembered and you are also worshipped. Even your bodies are worshipped. However, regarding myself, it is just the soul that is worshipped. Look, you are worshipped in two ways, even more than me. Since you become deities, you are worshipped as deities later on. This is why you are ahead of me in being worshipped. You are ahead in having your memorial, and you're also ahead in receiving your kingdom. You're ahead in having your memorial, you're ahead of me in being worshipped, and you're also ahead in receiving your kingdom. What do you think? Look how elevated I make you. There is a lot of love for lovely children. Those children are seated on the shoulder or the head. Baba places you children on top of the head. So Baba places you children on top of the head. Acha. This is why they've shown the Ganga flowing out from the forehead of the lucky chariot. Meethe meethe. Say, speak out loud. Sikhilete bachcho prati mat pita baap dada ka yaad pyar. Good morning. Ruhani baap ki ruhani bachcho ko namaste. Ruhani bachcho ki ruhani baap ko namaste. Essence for dharana. 1. In order to become praiseworthy and worthy of being remembered, become spiritual. Make yourself, the soul, pure. Make the effort to become soul conscious. 2. By practicing Man-Mana Bhav, stay in infinite happiness. Consider yourself to be a soul and talk to souls. Make your eyes civil. Blessing.
संतुष्टता के विशेषता द्वारा सेवा में सफलता मूर्त बनने वाले.
May you be a jewel of contentment, and with the speciality of contentment become an embodiment of success in service. May you be a jewel of contentment, and with the speciality of contentment become an embodiment of success in service. The special virtue for service is contentment. If something is called service and you yourself or others are disturbed by it, then it's better not to do that service. When there isn't contentment within the self or with others, then that service will not enable you yourself to attain any fruit, nor will it give fruit to others. Therefore, first of all, go into solitude, and then through self-transformation, claim the blessing of being a jewel of contentment. And then engage yourself in service. Only then will you become an embodiment of success. Slogan. Do not waste your time breaking the rock of obstacles. What are obstacles? They're rocks. So don't waste your time breaking the rock of obstacles, but take a high jump instead and overcome it. Such a lovely method Baba showed us. Don't think about how will the obstacle go, how will the obstacle go. Just take a high jump and overcome it. Om Shanti.